How does defining problems generate solutions?
Is this from Britt?
I think so,
I
yes.
think it's from Britt. She's a researcher, head writer. We've spent a lot of time looking at these. This is Britt's original idea to bring to the table from some of the research that she's done in positive psychology. So Britt and we put in a lot of work on in the last 2 years to just look at okay, what's the latest in the research? Let's do this and let's add footnotes back into let's make this even more robust than it was before. And I think now some of the textbooks have like 200, 300 some footnotes, and we've had participants go through and audit every single one of them. And I feel really proud of the work that we've done. This idea came from Britt in this, I think it was Einstein, or there was something, I think it comes from physics, where the idea is, it might have been a quote from Einstein that speaks directly to this. If you define the it's a lot like the bigger game, the quality of how you define the problem will have a direct impact on the quality of your answer. And so many people spend time trying to find the answer, but they might miss, oh, we're finding the answer to the wrong question. So what if we look and what if we split those two things out? And what if we spend time thinking, okay, how can I define the question of my life? So maybe the question isn't, how can I be happy, for instance? It's, how can I find meaning? And let's say you shift that. So let's say I've spent a day asking myself, how can I be happy? How can I be happy? I get very different answers. And the answers might be correct. They might be very extremely accurate, but they're still answering a question that might not be that useful. So when you start to look at, okay, how am I really truly defining this problem? It gives you an opportunity to change that focus and look at something, and start to define things a little bit differently. And it helps you look very specifically at this, I need to test this. So if it's not working here, maybe I can put that thing over there, and now you have there's a science experiment. You have a hypothesis. You can start to play with what question am I really trying to answer. So you don't have. It's not like you have to have all this pressure to get the very best right problem to solve, but it's at least bringing awareness to it and testing things out. That's the thinking behind that concept.
How does this fit into coaching? I mean, it was making me think about like a presenting agenda and a deeper agenda, but
Exactly. Yep, that's exactly it. And it's yeah. Do you want to go for it? Raj, from your standpoint, what, how would you describe the difference between a surface and deeper agenda?
well, as I was thinking about this, well, when we're training coaches, we often have a look at this, don't we? And we say, somebody might be coming in thinking it's, time management, for example, that is the problem as such.
Mm-hmm.
But when you actually remain curious and you start to dig beneath what is beneath that, I mean, I've been in coaching sessions before now, and it wasn't about time management at all. It was about the individual. We're kind of halfway through the exploration and the person has a light bulb. Actually, this is about my self-worth. This is about how I view myself and my identity, or what I thought I would have achieved by now, and hence that relationship or pressure with time. I also have to throw this in because this just made me think of a Jack Sparrow quote for anyone who's seen Pirates of the Caribbean. And Jack Sparrow says, the problem is not the problem is your attitude to the problem. I wish I could say it how he says it. Which makes me think of mindset as well. Yeah, and all the tools that we use in coaching, sometimes we discover the deeper agenda, and it might be that we use a reframe tool, and it's not actually anything to do with what the individual initially thought. And that's why I love this, the digging deeper piece. And sometimes we just have no idea what we think the problem is, but what it actually means to us is something completely different.
I feel like this is one of those things that why I love coaching is I love listening. I love having the permission that I can sit and I can listen and know that that's enough. And I feel like when that happens, our natural human curiosity, it gets curious. Like it's like you just can, yeah. Like our curiosity engines are currently churning. Like that's a production line that does not stop. You know, that keeps going, but oftentimes we don't listen to it, or we don't allow ourselves to use it empathetically. Oh gosh, Raj, I feel like you know, these passages, this idea of listening empathetically and like just listening to you describe it, like is like this is why I love this profession, and why I think it really is. This is something that has the opportunity to change the way that human beings relate to each other.
And it's powerful for leaders, isn't it? You know, from that first question of how is this beneficial for leaders? And, you know, I run a women in leadership program last year. We're going to be running another one this year. And one of the things we really look at is how do you shift from doing leadership to actually being a leader, and all of those components around emotional intelligence and understanding yourself, you know, that self-awareness, moving to self-regulation, all of those pieces that sometimes they're there, but we don't always go that deep in leadership development programs. Whereas in coaching, we have that opportunity, don't we, to explore further.